Welcome to Channel BTS Lover, the place where every blink, every step, every tiny movement from the BTS members can turn into a global phenomenon. But tonight, something different happened, something even the strongest-hearted ARMYs were not emotionally prepared for. The night began like any ordinary live. Jungkook sat casually, black hoodie, headset, and an expression that practically said, "Relax, we're just hanging out." No warning signs, no hints, nothing that suggested the world was about to lose its mind. ARMYs joined in one by one. Comments were pouring in like monsoon rain, and everything felt calm. But that's the thing, moments that feel the most normal are often the ones hiding the biggest surprises. A question instantly formed in everyone's mind. Was this something Jungkook planned? Or was it pure, unfiltered spontaneity? Because what happened next absolutely destroyed internet stability for hours. The camera framed his face, calm, playful, relaxed, and then without a cue, without a countdown, without even a "guys, I'm gonna dance," he stood up. Some ARMY screamed silently in their rooms, some froze mid-comment, some even thought it was a glitch because he changed position so suddenly. And then, the music started, from nowhere, for no obvious reason. But it began, and Jungkook started to dance. Not a shy shoulder roll, not a casual sway, not a joke move, but a real, rhythm-packed, performance-level dance right there in the middle of a supposedly chill live stream. Millions of eyes went absolutely silent. Questions exploded. Why did he suddenly dance? Is this a comeback spoiler? Why does this feel intentional? Why does the vibe feel like he's hiding something? Some even asked, why does this feel like a secret message? And honestly, no one could blame them, because the way Jungkook danced that night was different. The moves, oh god, what was that? It was like he channeled stadium stage energy into that tiny livestream room. The dim lighting behind him made his silhouette look even more dramatic, and the black hoodie doubled the mystery. Soft movement at first, then a sharp transition, then those rhythmic hits that made everyone check if their screen was truly real. Fans said, "This isn't random dancing. This looks like choreography. He looks like he's practicing, but why show it? This feels like a snippet of an unreleased project." And like wildfire, the theories ignited. What is Jungkook really hiding? Is this part of a new concept? A dance practice leak? A preview of something big it hasn't teased yet? Or is this just Jungkook, the most spontaneous human alive, feeling the music and going with the flow? Who knows? But one thing is undeniable. The ARMY reaction was absolute chaos. Those half asleep suddenly sat up. Those working forgot their deadlines. Those eating stopped chewing. Those lying down immediately sat straight. And those pretending they weren't missing Jungkook, yeah, they gave up instantly. The moment that broke everyone's inner peace. This part, ARMY might still be emotionally unstable thinking about it. When the camera zoomed back in after his dance, Jungkook gave that tiny smile, the one that screams, "Yeah, I know exactly what I just did." That small smirk melted millions of hearts while simultaneously making everyone furious. And then he asked casually, "How was it? How was it?" We are currently suffering. And that, right there, was the exact moment the live turned from chill conversation into global chaos. The comments section exploded. More emotional, more intense, more chaotic, but filled with love. Some fans were tearing up. Some felt nostalgic. Some said it reminded them of debut-era energy. Some felt attacked by visual, vocal, and dance all at once. Some could only type random letters because vocabulary became useless. The biggest question, is this a comeback hint? This theory is hot. Why did he suddenly dance? Why were the moves so clean? Why was the lighting perfect for a dance scene? Why did the music sound like an unreleased track? Is this coincidence? Or is this Jungkook's secret message to ARMY? Some even matched the pattern with Jungkook's previous comeback behavior. Random live plus random dance equals upcoming album. But the most unforgettable part of that night wasn't just the dance itself, it was the atmosphere that followed. Something shifted in the air, and many ARMYs swore they could feel it. The space around Jungkook no longer felt like a small room lit by a dim background glow. It suddenly felt like a stage, his stage, and the intensity in his eyes hinted at something more than just spontaneous fun. The chat exploded so fast that Jungkook had to squint at the screen. Confused yet amused, he leaned a little closer, tilting his head like he was trying to decode the chaos he just created. That tiny movement alone made fans lose their minds again. Why? Because it felt like he was silently asking, Did I go too far? Or did you like it? And that's when things took an even stranger turn. For a moment, barely a second, Jungkook glanced sideways, as if checking something off camera. It was quick, almost too quick to notice, but of course, Army noticed. They always do. Theories immediately erupted. What did he look at? Is someone else in the room? Is he checking a cue? Is this pre-planned? The idea that Jungkook might not have been alone added another layer of mystery. Was someone directing him? Was there a secret team preparing something for a future reveal? Or was it simply Jungkook glancing at his monitor or a speaker? Nobody knows yet. The mystery only made the moment even more iconic. Seconds later, he laughed softly, one of those tiny, breathy laughs that sound innocent but somehow feel dangerous at the same time. It was the laugh of someone who knew he had just caused an international meltdown. His shoulders shook a little. He covered part of his face with his hand, and that was it. Another wave of chaos spread across the fandom. Some fans even claimed the dance was too polished to be random. They noticed the precision in his footwork, the deliberate transitions, and the controlled rhythm. It wasn't messy. It wasn't improvised. It looked like the kind of movement an artist rehearses over and over in a dance studio. So naturally, questions got louder. Was that choreography for an unreleased track? Is this part of his next project? Why does this feel like deja vu, like he's done this secretly before? And then came the emotional part, the exact moment Jungkook's expression softened, as if he suddenly remembered something, or someone. His eyes lowered just a little, and the playful energy faded into something more sentimental. ARMEs felt it instantly. It was subtle, but powerful enough to shift the entire mood. Was the dance connected to a memory? Was he expressing something he couldn't put into words? Or was it simply the quiet after a burst of adrenaline? Again, the mystery only deepened the fascination. But the real punch came when Jungkook casually said, "Don't read too much into it." That single sentence did the opposite of calming fans. It detonated another bomb of speculation. Because when has Jungkook ever said something that didn't hide deeper meaning? Every time he tries to downplay something, it usually ends up being the biggest clue. Fans immediately compared this moment to previous instances where Jungkook unintentionally spoiled things, new songs, concepts, even fashion themes. So of course, the theories multiplied. Maybe he's teasing a new solo stage. Maybe this is the choreography for a collaboration. What if he's hinting at something for BTS's next chapter? And all the while, Jungkook sat there, sipping his drink, completely unaware of the emotional devastation he had unleashed worldwide. But maybe, just maybe, he knew exactly what he was doing, because the way he smirked afterward, that slow, knowing smirk, felt like the silent confession of someone who just dropped the biggest unplanned teaser of the year. What made everything even crazier was the silence that followed. Jungkook didn't say anything for a moment. He just sat there, breathing lightly, eyes wandering as if replaying the dance in his mind. That silence felt heavy, charged, almost intentional. ARMEs felt it instantly. It wasn't awkward, it was suspense. And then, with that effortless charm, he looked straight into the camera, right into millions of hearts, and said softly, "You guys are really fast. Fast at what? Catching spoilers, noticing secrets, seeing something we weren't supposed to see." That single line sent chills through the fandom. It felt like confirmation. It felt like he'd accidentally revealed something, and now he knew we knew. Jungkook laughed again, covering his mouth, but his eyes said everything his words didn't.